Squaw Hollow in North Carolina. There have been several Bigfoot sightings.
Hunters may need to be on the lookout for something other than deer when they hit the woods this week.
He hadn't been spotted recently, but according to these pictures, the legendary Mothman is back.
The number of UFO sightings is soaring tenfold over the past 25 years.
Now, she's not talking about people. She is talking about ghosts hanging around what some say is a real-life haunted house.
You're listening to Paratalkradio with Ted Wolf and Psychic Cindy on Paratalkradio.com, a member of the WLFE digital broadcast family. Paratalkradio is your one-stop for all things paranormal, the unknown, and the supernatural. Join us every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central for discussions and guests on topics such as ghosts, hauntings, Bigfoot, UFOs, and more. This broadcast is rated M for mature and is intended for listeners over 16. The topics, views, and opinions expressed on our show may not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Paratalk Radio, our hosts, or our sponsors. Now, live from J-Wolf Production Studio in Ontario, New York, here are your hosts, Ted and Cindy.
Well, no Cindy. I'm not sure where she's hiding right now, but she is hiding there somewhere. Unless, well, if you can see the two nutballs, they're both up there with us right now. They're hiding, and we have Ernie and Dave joining us from Paranormal Inc. And I'm waiting for Miss Cindy to show up. I know she's here somewhere.
I don't feel tardy. Class dismissed.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting because we weren't sure. I've been getting a lot of stuff on. Hold on one second. There we go. Twitter and Instagram and a lot of different sites these days about the paranormal field, if that's what you want to call it. And just being said and done, and I figured, you know what, who better to have a nice conversation with my two buddies from Pennsylvania? Well, not Pennsylvania. You guys are in Maryland. I keep forgetting.
That's because we're in Pennsylvania every
other
day.
weekend.
Yeah.
Buy a house up there.
Get a mailing address. P.O. box. No, but
oh man. So I figured I just get my little watch party started. I figured we'd talk about some of that stuff and see what was up with you guys as well. With everything going on, you guys were going to tell me the story about where were you? Selma Mansion? Which one were you at?
We were at Sam Miller Mansion this past weekend on a private investigation with Kelly Miller and a few friends, and it got kind of interesting.
Yeah,
it got weird. It was literally just maybe 10 people, if that.
Yeah, they just gathered because we do a lot of public events there and host public investigations. And once in a while, we'll have a medium with us or another investigator who wants to tag along. So Kelly Miller, medium, she came up with an idea. Let's not have a public event. Let's go in and hit it hard, and do an investigation with just us. Awesome. And it worked out. It worked out well, man. That place came to life.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I've never seen a K2 hit almost like clockwork when you answer questions. But in the shop, I mean, we were asking questions, and it was just like clockwork. The K2 was just going nuts.
Yeah.
And Ernie got one of the people there got an EVP when Ernie.
I was running a. What happened was there was 4 people in there investigating. So I just went in to observe, and they had a flashlight set up, and one of the gentlemen asked a question. He said, what he said was, you know who all 4 of us are, but if you know who the gentleman in the hat is, could you light the flashlight up, referring to me? Flashlight immediately came on. So I start rambling on a little bit. And then I said, if you're the one who just lit up that flashlight, or are you the one who just lit up that flashlight? And the SB7 plain as day said Ernie.
Ernie.
Like,
Yep.
I've never heard such a, because it was no choppy, static sound. It just, this deep male voice overtook all the skips and said my name. And one of the ladies, Mallory, just thanks for sending me the clip, Mal, just happened to be recording at the time.
Wow.
So it was pretty neat.
All right, so let's get into the chat room here. Let's see who's here. Hello, Michelle Millens, Kimberly Porter, Rob and Joan Carter, Kimberly Porter, Barry Mars. Oh, I said her name twice. Hawala. Whatever. Barry Mars, Robert White. Those are the only ones I can see on this part. I can't see the rest of them, unfortunately. I don't have your chat room from your thing, and I don't have WLFE's because for some reason, Facebook isn't allowing all of them to go to one stream now. They were allowing them to do that. They're not anymore. And I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with them. So
hey, I want to give a quick shout out to our cameraman John McGinnis.
Hey, John. How you doing, brother?
What's up, John?
Cameraman on the damn planet.
Yes.
We're going to triple your salary next year.
Zero is still a part of zero, buddy, so don't get your hopes up. But so far with this whole COVID thing this year, I mean, so you've done how many? I mean, I know it's only January. You've done one this year for the month of January?
Oh, since 2021?
This year, so.
Two
this
two
year
or
so
three?
far.
Two? Yeah.
Yeah.
How many did you guys actually end up doing last year? Do you know?
We actually, even during COVID, because Ted, when COVID first kicked off, we had to postpone quite a few events, and some Paracon we were in got rescheduled, but things like that. But as far as Paranormal Inc. events, we were able to make them all up already.
Yeah.
So
we probably did a good.
We cleared the board. Yeah,
a couple private ones as well.
Imagine to get them in. Yeah, plus we had some private residential cases.
Yeah, some very interesting residential ones.
Was it hard to do with the residential with with the whole COVID thing? You guys wear masks through it and all that other stuff.
We would kick the residents out of the rooms temporarily as we did our thing because he and I I get tested regularly, he gets tested regularly, but I don't know about the family. Right. But when they were in the room, we were wearing masks. And it got a little sticky wicket along the way because there's a little child running around without a mask. So it was a little sticky, but we ended up actually having to call in some demonologists to the house. Some really weird things going on.
On both cases.
Yeah, we had two cases that we ended up getting a demonologist in on. Because the first one, we haven't done any. And then the second one, that woman, they were doing, what was that? Santeria?
No, I don't think it was actually Santeria. It was, I forget what she called it. It was some sort of witchcraft,
voodoo witchcraft,
type
whatever
stuff out of Nigeria.
And somebody left something like really nasty in her house, and we went, this is not us. That we need to call in bigger guns.
Yeah, so I mean, the case is actually still going on. It hasn't been resolved. But.
Yeah,
so what's up with you, Ted?
Yeah, GVPI didn't do any last year. We haven't done any yet this year either. I mean, but it's been New York is so tight on everything up here. So, and we just, I can't take a risk.
I was scared when I was in New York in August. I was scared. I was scared I was going to get stuck up there or something. You know what I mean? And then as soon as I got back from New York is when they really went into lockdown or whatever. So I was like, whoo, I escaped that.
Hello, Kristen Holmes, and hello, Jamie Gamber. Thank you for joining us. Still waiting on Cindy. Not sure what's going on with her, but I'm sure she'll pop in here as soon as she's ready. We're sitting down here with Ernie and Dave from Paranormal Inc., and we're just chatting here for a few minutes to catch up on. We're friends, so we're catching up, on how we're doing and so on and so forth. But then we're going to hit a couple questions that's been floating around the paranormal world. And I figured, you know what? Let's have a nice evening. And Cindy just emailed me or just messaged me.
We interrupt this program for the following messages.
Yeah, it's not letting her in.
Tell her the other button.
I'm going to send her the link again and see if we can get her to try it again. And then see what happens.
She's looking for her hat.
Yeah. The thing with COVID up here, I mean, a lot of teams are not investigating. So like I said, for GVPI, we haven't done much. Pretty much just keeping track of, God, if we're even going to be able to do anything, because they're talking end of 2001, maybe beginning of 2002 or 22, 2001, 2021, 2022. I don't know, man. I mean, even with all these shots that everybody's supposed to be getting, they're still saying concerts. We're hearing that live concerts aren't going to happen until 2022, if that. In fact, a lot of places are going to full live streaming for concerts and just people paying for tickets online. It's they don't know if live performances will even come back, which is going to suck for a lot of the musicians and comics and all that other stuff. It's just going to be live streaming. But
everyone,
for the paranormal part of it, with doing investigations, I guess it's just going to fall down to where we feel comfortable. Yep. If it's something we feel is urgent enough to do, I got one right now that's been bugging me for like, I don't know, a month. And it's like, I'm going through all different channels to make sure that everybody's safe, and, how the landlords are getting, permission and everything else. It's been a nightmare.
Right.
It's not easy these days up here.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, so my daughter and her friend have resorted to actually doing some investigation here in my house, and they're actually getting some really positive results down here. Apparently, her friend Maddie, her cat who passed away is following her. And
really?
Yeah, and they're talking to it on a REM pod.
How do you talk to the cat?
I don't know. They just asking questions, and the REM pod rings. They're down here by themselves, and you can hear it ringing. So,
I don't know if that's weird. That's definitely weird.
I've given them the warnings of, hey, just be careful. You don't know who it really is, but just
right. Huh. So I sent Cindy the link again, so let's see if she can get in. And hopefully she can get up in here and join us. So Bradley Monk says COVID sucks, but we've been fortunate to be able to continue safely. Some teams, especially in New York area, have not been going out whatsoever. Hello, Patricia. Hello, Dominic, Barry Martz. Thank you for joining us here.
I got a quick question, Ted. This is for everybody watching. What does everybody think of this damn Discovery Plus? As if we don't pay enough cable bills and satellite bills, and now all our friends that are on all these paranormal shows, it's all getting taken over by Discovery Plus. I mean, it sucks.
What they want to charge you? What, $6 a month for it?
That's
it's $4.99 a month, and but unfortunately, what's happening is multimedia, especially TV, is all going streamlined. It's all going to be streamed. It's not going to be cable anymore. It's not going to be any of that stuff. It's going to TV's changing. It's all changing. Radio's changing, and unfortunately, we're all going to be stuck with higher bills, because if you want to watch a certain channel, you're going to want to watch a certain or listen to a certain thing, you're going to be paying for it.
That stinks, man. I mean, it really does.
I don't pay for HBO. I don't pay for Showtime. And now they want me to pay for the stuff I'm already watching free.
Right.
All right. Well, I pay for Netflix, because I like it.
I pay for Netflix.
Yeah, and I have Prime. So, and I have what do they call it? Direct TV up here. And that's what we have.
Direct TV, that's what I got.
Yeah, I pay normal cable bills. And between my cable bill and my internet, I'm already paying $300 a month.
Holy shit. That's a lot, because we're paying a 91 or 92 for Direct TV, and then we're paying $50 for the internet. You know,
Yeah.
so I'm plus you figure then Netflix has gone up to what, $21.99 now.
Right.
So so yeah, I'm paying 160 to 180. You know, a
Well,
month.
Dominic, why mine's so high is I'm a network engineer by trade, and I actually have a static set of IPs here for the servers I run. That's why my internet's so high. But
Right.
basic otherwise on cable.
And see this new wave stuff, it hurts me because I got DirecTV, but in the area where I live, DirecTV doesn't have Wi-Fi.
Right. It has no
So
internet
I
at its
have no
house.
internet at my house other than my phone, and I'm not paying a monthly subscription to watch my favorite shows on my phone. I mean,
Right.
it's
Right.
and I looked around for just Wi-Fi, I mean, like from a separate, and they want $100 a month just for
easily.
Wi-Fi.
Yep.
And it's like, I don't use the internet that much. I'm either here or on the road somewhere or whatever. I'm not
Right.
using that at home,
Yeah.
I don't know. It stinks, man.
My
It
bad.
stinks.
Bradley Monks was just saying that they're in Canada. He says they signed a contract to produce shows here in Canada with Paraflix. So
keep
I
us
don't know.
posted on it.
Keep us posted on that.
Yeah. So there's I think people are not people as in us, but people as in they have the ability to run these shows, produce them, and put them out on mass media. Like Discovery or wherever. I mean, you know what it comes down to, guys. It's all about money, and that's all they care about. But unfortunately, one of the questions I was going to kind of bring up here is the paranormal shows. They're not as big as they used to be. In fact, they're losing followers. They're losing fans, and we're seeing that across the board right now. I've seen a lot of hatred come out of comments with people saying first about this Discovery Plus, and then again on top of that, they're like, the shows aren't worth it.
Well, when you have an actor who is getting possessed every show, and Mr. Hollywood, and I'm not going to name any names, but it's like, come on, it doesn't work like that. We all know that.
I keeping it discreet. Let me play devil's advocate. And this is my take on that show. A lot of people are interested, and you'll agree, Ted, in the paranormal, and they watch it for the scare factor and all that stuff. And in his defense, a lot of the people watching, a lot of us that do it watch. Okay, right. We're curious or whatever. But a lot of fan base, I think, for that particular show is people that actually watch it to be scared or for the entertainment. And I think it just took a direction of they know how to play to the audience. You know what I mean? To keep that specific group interested. You know what I mean? But then for those of us, Ted and us and everybody that's following that actually investigate or whatever, we know how it really is.
Well, like Kindred Spirits, I love that.
Oh,
show.
that Amy.
I love that show.
Amy and Adam, man, they're so
amazing,
genuine in the way that they do it, and so passionate. And I think if anybody that's not really into watching the shows but want to watch one of the shows, watch Kindred Spirits, because they're just complete, in my opinion, genuine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And they bring in Chip, who is really very good at what he does, and very good people.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, there's a lot of things like you're saying. I mean, first and foremost, I mean, if you're someone that just watches it for the scare factor and stuff, what they're going to get is they're going to get all the bells and whistles, and that's what they're going to believe. They're not going to believe the truth. And that's the problem. And, people, I think it's because it's been out there since 2000. We're talking 21 years into the paranormal, and nothing's changed. It's always the same. And people are fed up watching the same stuff over and over and over again. And, I think people such as myself and you guys, I mean, when is enough enough? When do we say we want facts? We want more than just somebody going on there claiming that this orb is possessing his head, and you know what I mean? We want more than that. I mean, Kindred Spirits is a great show, but then again, still, what facts, what truths do they have that they actually pushing out to the masses? I mean, there has to be a time where we stop throwing out something we have no truth to, and start saying, okay, well, maybe we need to do a little more research and see what matches up. I mean, I'm not saying all of it has to be like in your face truth or fact, right, but at least give them something to think about and say, hey, this is what we found. We're not sure if it's real. Put a clause in there somewhere. Put some, you know what I'm saying? To like, hey, you decide whether it's real or not.
Like the show The Dead Files. All right, they split the team up. Amy goes in, does her thing, and he goes in and does the research. And then they come back at the end, and then they compare notes in front of the client, which is to me a really neat way of doing things, because you're validating some of the things one person's saying over the other and vice versa. So I kind of like that approach.
I think, Ted, that if you go back to the beginning, like when the original Ghost Hunters came on with Jason and Grant, it was a lot of what you and I refer to as old school techniques. Yep. You know what I mean? And I think what kept that going so strong was, of course, we come to no solid conclusion because the field is what it is. But at the end, during the reveal, they always gave their professional opinions, what they think it was or what they encountered. And, it always advised the client on what to do or what not to do. And I think that to me, I think is what we need more of, instead of the Hollywood version of all the ghost shows.
I agree with you there. I think the way things are now with TV, for the paranormal TV anyways, is it's getting out of hand. I think we need to see empathy more, because you don't see that much either anymore.
Right.
And people locking themselves in a building and running around scared, screaming and blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. If I want to watch that, I'll get a whole bunch of teenagers and throw them in a haunted house and let them have their fun, because it's the same thing. It's, I don't know. I guess it's really becoming a problem. And when do you draw a line? And I've discussed this with Cindy before. Like, if you have a case and you go into the case, you should be telling these people right from the beginning, I am an investigator. I'm not an expert. There is no experts. We don't know enough about it.
Right.
But what we're going to do is we're going to collect as much data or information as we can to see if we can come up with something to help you folks out. If we can't come up with something, then there's always that alternative of, well, you may have to move if we can't figure it out. We may have to find a way for you guys to live with it, I guess, and find a way to live together. But there's so many different things that are floating around out there in the paranormal field. It's like a big cloud, and you reach up there and you grab what you want, but we have no fact on the majority of it. It's all guessing. And there are people today that still are having issues, and paranormal teams have been there, and they're still having issues.
Well, the second to last residential case we had, we were the third team fourth team that went in, because what had happened is the other teams that went ahead, we had no knowledge of any of this, and apparently this lady somehow got a hold of some teams or whatever, and they went in and apparently made it worse.
Yeah, the first team came in and they just did a play and no evidence at all.
Right.
They just did an investigation in the house and rolled. The second team came in. They did an investigation and tried to collect some evidence, but completely failed. Third team comes in, and they actually were using DVRs and some other things, but forgot to hit record on the DVRs. So, and then
they wound up getting in contact with Mike King,
and Mike gave us a shout, and we came in, and we definitely found some stuff in there. And at that point, we were under the impression that the attachment was on her, not on the house. And because it would come and go with her into the room, the equipment would actually go off. It was all centered around her. Even the K2, you put a K2 near her and it goes off near her. So we finally ended up getting a demonologist team in there, and they're doing counseling. They're doing their thing at this point almost weekly.
And actually, we haven't really heard much about it, so it's going. If we don't hear anything back, we know it's going.
Yeah, I've checked on
it
a couple times, and it's going very well.
Bradley Monk is over here, and he's making some good comments. It's like, when you go to a location, I mean, first of all, I'm going to throw this in front of what he says, is the first thing you should be doing when you're going to a location that you're being called in is you need to respect the homeowner and their privacy and everything that's going on there. The second thing is you don't want to go in there thinking that it's haunted. You want to go in there with a clear mind, just collecting what evidence that you can, if you want to call it evidence, and you need to be respectful. You need to do your job, and you have to get the history of the place. And that was what Bradley was saying. You got to have the history of the locations. You have to have all this information on the clients as well. And you really need to do your research and your homework. I mean, it's not just go in there, tell these people, oh, it's a demon, and then leave. And, then these people have to live with this thought for the rest of their life there. Come on. I mean, this is not what you do. And there's too many things going on, and it's being like right now on Twitter, it's going crazy because there are a lot of individuals in the paranormal field, some big names, some lesser names, and they're discussing, what's going on with the paranormal field. When did it turn to this show-off theme where everybody's into it for TV, everybody's into it for becoming a star? They lose track of what real evidence is, the real empathy of the clients. When did this change? I mean, and I agree that what is happening right now is not helping us at all.
No, not at all.
No, there's a big separation.
Yeah, I mean, it should be to the point where we're putting this in front of the limelight to show, but when it comes to the Hollywood factor and all that just drives me nuts. It really does. I mean, a good old fashioned, like I say, spirit realm, just something like that, which is just, makes my day.
And you know what I think they should do, Dave, and this is something that I've thought about. Here in New York, psychic mediums, when they set up their tables, they have to put up a sign that says this is for entertainment purposes only. I think that those shows should have that.
Oh, I agree.
I think they should have a posting saying for entertainment purposes only, because they're not doing the jobs that a lot of us that are out there doing. I mean, I'm telling you point blank, my client is number one. I stay in touch with them as much as possible, in and out and after and before and during. And, I want to make sure that the client is satisfied with what's going on and what's happening and that they're safe.
And what, going along with what you're saying, Ted, what Dave and I usually do when we have what seems to be a serious residential case come our way, after the interviews and stuff, Dave and I will discuss everything. And based on what we're told, I mean, and a lot of times, they're reaching out for help. So you have to take with a grain of salt what the client's telling you, because, they're a little frightened.
And you don't know what they've also been told by other people.
Before we even go into the house, we have like some of our constituents already on board, just saying, okay, look, this is what they're telling us. We'll let you know what we come up with. So then that way, after a night or two of investigating, Dave and I will come to our conclusion.
Right.
And we already have somebody,
in the wings ready
to go if we need them. Yeah.
The other thing is we tell the client is, look, I don't care what the other team's told you.
Yeah.
Get that out of your head. We're coming in. We're going to let you know step by step what we're doing, why we're doing, what we're trying to find, how we're trying to find it, what we're using to find what we're trying to find, and how we're trying to proceed with the evidence.
But we always lead them based on what Dave and I think. We'll always lead them in the right direction, and not, well, this is who you need to find a medium, or you need to find a shaman or whatever. Yeah. We have them ready to come in and work. So we always try to, we come out with some resolution.
Yep. We have a 3-page or 4-page document that we actually send them before we go in, saying and listing out, okay, give me when did it start? What are you seeing? What are you feeling? What are you hearing? When did this start? Has anything moved? You hear smells? So we're asking all the questions on a 4-page document. Do you have any psychiatric problems in your background? Are you under a doctor's care for any medical issues that we need to be aware of? And we get as much information as we can.
Yeah, but the point is, we just don't pack up the cameras at the end of the night and be like, "All right, it was fun. See you."
Yeah,
right.
And then
sorry, Dave, to cut you off, but I think what you're saying is the way it should have been done, or that's the way it started out. Is teams were using those outlined. You could get online, you could find them, you could print them off and send them to your clients. We do something where we tell them as soon as they call us, we tell them to get themselves a notebook immediately, start writing down what happened.
Correct.
Things that are happening after we get off the phone. We want time, we want date, we want to know where, what, and keep that so that when we do come there, we have that to look at. There are also cases that we've done, and we found this to be a little better, is that instead of them telling us what's happening, like specifically, it's just kind of give us an overall, like, not details, tell us what's been happening, and then let us find what we find to validate what you're telling us. And
Robert,
if we can't find anything, if we don't find anything to validate what you're telling us, then it either warrants another investigation or, more time for whatever the case may be. I mean, I think the biggest thing right now is people are fed up with seeing the same stuff over and over and over again. How many times can you tell somebody, oh yeah, you got a haunted house? How many times can you tell somebody, well, you might have a demon in your home? Well, what are you going to do about it? How do you help these people?
Right.
Can you show us what you did to help us or help them? Can you show us what you did to validate your claims?
Yeah, show the story after as well. So don't just, okay, hey, you got a demon in your house. Bye, guys. Just show me follow up. Show me where you came back in and said, okay, we've got these resources in for them. This is what they found. This is how they helped them.
Right. I mean, if anything, say this is what it's pointing to. Okay, we're not telling you that it is this, but this is what it's pointing to. So we need to come up with some way of helping you at this point for this. You know what I'm saying? Because how many cases do you actually do that are someone's imagination?
We've had a few of those.
Somebody that has a mental instability.
We've had a few of those.
Somebody's on drugs. I mean, it's seriously. I'm
trying to think you're following us now, Ted.
All I'm saying is that out of 20 cases, you cannot believe that all 20 cases had something.
Right.
It can't be that way. It can't be that black and white. And for teams or TV shows, I should say, that are making this stuff up to keep it interesting as entertainment, I do believe they need to put a big old sign up there like we do when we have to, for like disclaimers and say, this is entertainment. This is not real.
The following program is for entertainment purposes only. Yep.
Right. I mean, it kills me that, when we go to investigations, I mean, this was a year ago, guys, where we would go into a house, somebody would call us because they've been hearing noises and they saw a shadow, and all of a sudden, because they've watched it on some TV show, that their house is haunted and this thing's going to rape her in her sleep. It was her own fear that she manifested, but because she was watching these TV shows. How many TV shows do you watch? Well, I watch as many as I can. Well, why? Well, I really like them and they give information.
Yeah, no, they don't. It's like watching Hollywood Squares. Come on now.
That's what I tell them. I said, that's entertainment. They may be using some of the same equipment that we do. They may be trying to use the same outline that we do, that we engage ourselves in to do these investigations. But I'm sorry. I mean, You go to a location, you're there for 24 hours, and you're going to give this person an answer. I don't agree with that. If you're going to go there 2-3 times a week, maybe a month, and really study the phenomenon and the case and what's happening, then I can agree more, because you're not doing it just once. I mean, you can't come up with an answer just like that. Not in the first 24, unless that place is so active that, it's unbelievable. And, something like Harry Potter, I mean, it's crazy. Dominic Senacero says, I manifest a Porsche and has not haunted me yet, unfortunately.
When it does, let me know. I'll exercise it from you.
There you go. Bradley Monk says, our shows will show of how we are helping and what is being done to fix the situation.
It's good.
Yep, good.
That's what it needs.
He also puts, they all want a gold medal, LOL. Just keep it real, study science behind it, and help people. And that's it. I mean, ooh, look at that.
Hi, guys. Hi.
Wait. Ted, she hasn't done her intro yet. You got to do the intro real quick so she can do her hi.
Right.
Well, she can just do her thing. I don't want to run the whole intro.
Hi, guys.
Hey, sweetie, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing? I'm sorry I'm late.
You're not late. We were just early.
Or Cindy was late. I couldn't get on my phone at all, and then I started coming on here. And
yeah, you were echoing a lot.
Okay, let me see if I can get my things.
Tim Conwell says, it's also because of these conventions, people want to be seen of what they do. Well, there's a small part of that, I guess, too. I mean, if you go to these conventions, there are people that were on TV shows that are there. They're set up. They want you to buy their pictures, their books, and blah, blah, blah. In some cases, it's just nice to meet somebody that's been doing something, but to think that they're better than somebody else, no, obviously not. Sure, they're on TV, but that doesn't mean that they know everything.
Nope.
Hells to the no.
Shit, Ernie's been on TV.
Yes, Ernie, when is your show coming on?
We're still waiting. I noticed they're rerunning the first 2 seasons, so I guess it's building up to season 3.
Did you already tell everybody what show you're going to be on?
Yeah, a while ago.
Yeah,
I didn't. What was it?
Haunted
Hospitals.
Season 3, yeah. Travel Channel as of now, unless
they go to Discovery
I get moved to
Plus.
Discovery Plus for $4.99 a month.
Right.
Right. That'll be just my luck, because they'll be like, February 1st, season 3 of Haunted Hospitals, and then
only on Discovery Plus,
so I won't even be able to see it. Let me know how it goes.
See what I'm eating, you guys? I took my keep calm and ride on.
Right on. What is it?
It's filled with buffalo. It's Frank's Red Hot Sauce Street.
Uh-huh.
I put that on everything.
Is that chicken?
Chicken, yes.
Mm.
So Cindy, we're talking about some things that have been popping up on the internet, good old faithful internet, with the paranormal. Some of the prominent paranormal investigators on TV, as well as some that are not, there's this big thing going on with what's happened to the paranormal field. What is going on with this, and why is it so, everybody wants to be on a TV show. They don't care about our clients. They, all this stuff that's going on. And really a lot of, I'm just going to say it, shit is being portrayed out there and given to the general public to believe about the field of paranormal.
Yeah. I'm sharing my chicken with my cat.
John McGinnis now says, now I'm hungry.
Sorry, guys. I have not. This is the first time I literally have eaten all day. It's almost 9 o'clock at night.
Earlier, when I got that text message, I forgot to turn my phone volume down. That was my wife.
Thank you, Ernie.
That was my wife. Oh yeah, she was texting me. Let me know when you're on your way home so I can start dinner. I was like,
yeah, then I'm coming home with you. His wife.
Robert White says haunted hospitals where the doctors can't diagnose what's haunting you.
Yeah, they're dying to see you.
Yes, I remember we talked about this before, that Ernie's wife has some good food and she fills you up.
Oh, 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 oh.
She can. I can send her over to stay with you for about a month or two.
So I'll take it.
Let me text her. Tell her to start packing her bags.
You are not Ernie.
Tell Dave got dibs. Yeah, oh my
Dave
God.
won the bet.
Yeah.
Dave won the bet. She'll be really happy with that one.
So,
hey,
go ahead.
Ted, did you guys book your room for the bash yet?
No, can we do that already?
Yeah.
The link. Dad.
Pam's been posting and spamming the link for the last like 2 months.
Nah, not quite that long.
Yeah,
we have to get you the link.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all booked. We're all booked in and ready to. We're booked in and ready to bash.
Yeah, I'm already booked too, but not there. So
what? You're not going?
Oh, I'm booking there.
She's booking there. I'm somewhere else.
Bring the bottle of Jack.
Yeah. I'm already booked, but I'm at a different location.
Oh,
I'll be there, but
all right.
Why are you going to?
Yeah, because you and Sheila.
Me and Sheila share. We get the upstairs of it's like a whole house. We get the whole upstairs.
Ooh, Mr. Fancy Pants. Can't stay and hang out with the kids.
The first year, Teddy and I spent together.
Yeah, that's when we talked about the lamp. Remember?
Yes, of course I do. That obscene, dirty lamp. I love it.
Yeah. But anyway, so let's get back on topic here. So, with this whole thing, I mean, I don't know with you guys, but I mean, I know that you guys still use some of the main equipment that most ghost hunters do, or paranormal investigators do. But you guys seem very like us, where you're very cautious about what you're saying and what you're using and what you're doing to your clients. You want to make sure that your clients are number one. But these teams that aren't, I mean, what can we say to them to try and understand that it's not there, it's not that, and it's not how that's supposed to be? And also the people that aren't doing paranormal investigations, they want to know the truth. You know, how do we rectify these situations?
I mean, let me tell you what we do, Ted, and I'm sure you're going to appreciate this. Like we just said Saturday, we investigated. For lack of a better term, I'll say we investigated for real the Sam Miller Mansion, meaning we wasn't
there for the guests.
We wasn't entertaining a public event.
Right.
It was us investigating.
Right.
And what we did for the first half was we went old school.
Yes.
We went in complete darkness, lights out, with nothing but a voice recorder.
Yep.
And we got a feel for the room, for the environment.
You could actually hear voices, even though we were all in the same room.
Right.
He and I were chasing a male voice outside, and it led us back to the machine shop.
Right. And the thing is, we did about a good hour or so, hour and a half, where we were doing nothing but different locations, EVP work, trying to get natural things.
Yep. And I had a K2 running.
And our responses were good. And then we kind of broke out the tools as we established what we thought we were dealing with,
and
or that
that
something was actually there. And to answer your question, if you are an investigator and you're going into someone's home or whatever, I don't like to go in guns a-blazing with 50
right
and ringing and lighting. You got to find out if something's there first. That's what you're there for.
Start out with simple tape recorder, or even on your phone or recorder.
Right. You have to establish
your questions.
Yeah, before you can start asking a entity or a spirit questions, you got to make sure something's there first.
Just, establish just to see.
Yeah.
Leave
establish as a reason to be there.
Yeah, right. It's all right to put some cameras up to see. Put some static cameras up. Don't be running around. You don't need the beeps and boops and as you find things, look, I'm going to try this.
Right.
See if you can and do them one at a time.
And keep in mind all the equipment that's out there to help us along, you're not going to use every piece of equipment on every case because every case is different. You have to use that piece of equipment to validate what you think is there based on what is needed, not just, a routine of, okay, let's use this now. Now let's try this. You can't do it that way. You got each
perfect example. Ernie and I were at the Haldeman Mansion. And
I
we
love
were doing,
Haldeman.
Oh, I love Haldeman. But preliminary investigation. It was only Ernie and I, and we were downstairs by that front door out, as you come in, like by the water side.
Yeah.
And Ernie had his parabolic dish and aiming up the top of the steps. And he said something
what was that called? A parabolic what?
Dish.
Parabolic dish. It amplifies the sound.
It looks like a satellite dish. Yeah.
And he goes,
I've never seen one.
Tell me hello. Now, at the same time, I'm literally drinking a cup of coffee, and he hears something, and he goes, "Oh my God, Dave, was that you?" And I'm like, "Was what me?" And he goes, "Something just said hello." And I'm like, "Nah." So I literally put my cup down. I said, "Give me that." And I said, "Just said hello to Ernie. Can you say hello to me?" And in a growling voice, I heard, "Hello." And there was no one else in the mansion but Ernie and I.
We had the keys. We opened up.
Yeah. So
that's crazy. But they know you guys. They know you guys have been there before, so
absolutely. Laura actually has a really cool EVP that she put a tape recorder down, went back over to where she lived over in the stable house, and she was coming back. And on the EVP, nobody was asking questions. You heard, "Shh, Laura's coming." That's an amazing EVP.
That was cool because we wasn't even we weren't doing anything at the time except getting ready.
Right.
But we were still recording.
Right.
And yeah, that was neat.
And you heard just, "Shh, Laura's coming." And we played it back, and it's so how do you explain things like that?
Right.
To me, that's old school. You're just getting an electronic voice phenomena, class A EVP that you really can't, it's not supposed to be there.
Right.
And see, and even though we use the tools, I mean, and there's we know that there's a lot of tools that get broken down, and there's always some skeptical, book, or there's always somebody that breaks them down to where they're no good. There's always, this or that, whatever. But here's the other side of that is we have to use what we have. And that's why, old school is so important, because old school is visual for the most part. Yes, a tape recorder, but for the most part, it's visual. You get out there.
Yep.
You get your camera, you get your video recorder, you videotape what's happening. And, it's so much easier sometimes. And I'll tell you this, it's cheaper than buying a $500 REM pod.
Oh,
for real.
I'm a network engineer by trade. I'm an electronics guy. I can build them. I can network them. I can connect them. Love them. And, I'm not going to give you my personal opinion on the SLS camera, but I will tell you it's built on Microsoft Connect's software. That software is designed to, if it sees an anomaly, puts a stick figure in trying to align up the anomaly. That is what it does.
Right.
And the reason
it doesn't
for
mean
that,
it's a ghost. It doesn't mean that it's that,
or my water filter upstairs is a ghost, and so is my china cabinet. Okay. So if you set it down, you aim it at something, and you walk away from it, and it's clean the whole way through, and then all of a sudden you say, "Can you jump on the bed or jump on that gurney?" And all of a sudden something appears. Maybe you got something. Right. But by walking around, it's looking at angles and it's seeing angles. It's designed to do that.
Yeah, it's designed to also work with a lot of things that have a shiny surface. So whether it's a window or a table or a wall that's just shiny, it's going to give you all those false positives and all that.
And it's going to give you a stick figure trying to move, because it's trying to map a body moving for a game. That is what it's designed to do.
I tell you what I like, and for everybody listening, give this a try. If you're into using all the gadgets and gadgets during investigating, use things that have a primary function other than
ghost hunting.
Hey, we're going to go find a ghost.
Yep.
Use the instruments that are used for other fields and other.
A K2 meter is an electrician's tool. It's made to find electrical leaks. That is what a K2 is.
Yeah.
Right.
A REM pod is a magnetic field detector. It is made. It was actually detected. And the original was in the Harvard Business or Harvard Science to see if the magnetic pulses they were putting out were putting out too far. That's where it originated.
And see, like one of the FLIR cameras I use, its intent is for people that are reconstructing or redoing their house and their
energy leaks.
That way you can see where the leaks are coming in and the heat is escaping, and that's the good thing to use. You know what I mean?
Well, the fire departments
the
fire departments have one.
Yeah,
and there's to detect human bodies that are inside a dwelling,
inside a burning building.
So, I mean, I'm not telling you to go out and spend $2,500 on this thing, but at least you're going to get something with a little more fact to it than you are something else.
You came to my house and you brought that little candle that you dropped inside the glass.
Yep,
I love that. Yeah. I love that.
That's
Wait, what are you talking about? Tell us, Teddy. And
actually, I have one. I'll go grab it. All
right, while he's grabbing it. All right. So I don't know if something followed me home. I don't know what was going on, but my cabinets kept opening. I kept having knocks. During one of our shows, we heard bangs above us that should have been there. Really interesting things along in my house. So I asked Ted to come down and, because I want a second opinion. Ernie had been over. He had seen it. Ted, come down. He brought these little glass bowls that only have a place where you could drop a candle in the top. So the candle's down in the bowl, so it's not affected by wind. And he was saying things like, if you're here, make the candle flame move, and you'd see it do this.
Wow.
So that's an old school technique I loved and I adored.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's a great one. So Sandy said, how about noise-activated recorders?
That's tough because they're set. The squelch is set on those things so that it only catch like part of what you're hearing. Sometimes it won't catch all of it. It's sort of like a CB radio squelch, basically.
I have motion-activated cameras. They don't really catch everything.
I have a couple of those, but they're hard to use, especially when we're hosting like a public event, because no matter what, somebody's always talking. Yep. Yeah, so they're kind of hard.
Okay, so this is what Dave was talking about. I have a mason jar. Okay. And what I have is it's a reconstructed top to the mason jar that's cut out. And 2 pieces of metal down the sides and a little holder down on the bottom to hold a candle. That's all welded in there. Basically, you light the candle, you throw it back on. All right. So the sides are completely, you can't
There's
blow.
no air.
Yeah. There's no air.
Right. But the air can come through at the top.
It can go to the top only.
Right.
Okay.
Only.
Right. So as paranormal investigation goes, if you really want to use something old school like this, you have to be consistent in your investigation. You have to know what you're doing here, because it can't just be, throw this down.
I also need to say something, I feel.
All right, go ahead.
We also need to say something, that there has to be air that circulates someplace, because otherwise the candle will go out, because oxygen and fire.
Right. And that's why there's a hole on the top.
Exactly.
But if you
I
take
just wanted to clarify for that.
Right. So if you take this device, you light the candle and you set it down. It is. Yeah. And you set it down and you get yourself some string and you place it over top of it or near the sides, like four, like northeast, south, and west, and all that. It'll tell you whether there's a breeze. You'll see it because of the string, first off, or crepe paper. But if you ask questions at this point, if you're using this to try and find contact and you're using it, say, for communication, say, hey, can you, make the flame move to the left, to the right? Can you put the flame out? Can you make it, whatever? And none of those things move while that's being said, then you've got an anomaly and you're not sure what that means, but you've got something that is considered an anomaly. And that's what we work with. And this is something that people forget about. In the paranormal field, we work with anomalies. We work with things that are not normal, that can't be explained away.
Right.
And somewhere in this field of paranormal research, it's gotten lost. It's gotten to the point where you could run any gadget. In fact, do I have one here? Any gadget like a K2, and we start trusting in that so much that it's communication. Some cases it might be, but in other cases, all it's doing is telling you about a field. Okay, it was made for electricians. Now, I've told this story before, and I'll say it again. We had a location that we investigated. They made claims. We didn't find anything, but as it was coming down this walkway, I flipped the switch and no light. So I asked the owner, I said, there's no light there. Oh, no, that electricity is turned off. I'm like, okay. I said, so I took the K2 meter, to check the wiring, put it up against the wall, and it's hot. It was hot. Now, she said that the power's off. So I told her point blank, I said, this is what I'm going to say to you, that this device was made for electricians. If it's telling me that there's hot wires there, that there's something going on by this, you got electric there, so you better make sure that the switch is off or whatever. If not, you're going to end up with a fire. 3 months later, there was a fire. Guess where the fire started?
Right there.
So,
makes sense.
We're, in some sense, we're not just ghost hunters or paranormal investigators. We're also, we're also thinking about other things that are happening. I mean, you have to be careful.
That's exactly the one house we were telling you about that we went to. One of the things I did was go down to the basement. Beneath the room that a lot of activity happens, there's 3 panels down there. And I was getting up to 35 house on the K2, right below. And I told her point blank, you need to get an electrician in here and ground everything properly.
Right.
So,
I mean, and you have to be smart, folks. You really do. I mean, if you're going to attempt to be a paranormal investigator and you're just doing it to get scared, fine, then make that claim and make sure that you're pushing out there so people know. But if you're going to be somebody that's taking this serious, as in being an investigator, please try to follow the guidelines that are out there for you.
Right. Don't just try to scare somebody and run.
Yeah. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, a lot of us have put out books there to tell you how to be a paranormal investigator to the best knowledge that we have.
Right.
And we give you ideas. It's up to you to use them and try and solve these anomalies. I mean, I wrote a book called Think Outside the Paranormal Box. I haven't used half of those techniques in there because they were just thoughts. What if? And I put in the book, use them. Yeah, I still got to get Ernie his book.
I use something called Occam's razor. Occam's razor says that cut everything else away that you can. And no matter how improbable, what's left must be the truth. So you try to debunk it first. What can I explain to be normal? What can I be, what could really cause this? And you got to test, and test again.
And also, whoever hasn't read the book that Ted was just referring to, you got to read it. It's very good.
Thank you.
It was very good. I actually read it in the rough draft.
Flashlight recorder, and comfortable shoes.
No, the second one.
Oh, Think Outside the Paranormal Box. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, and all it was ideas. I mean, people tell you, well, if it's EMF, it can't do this. If it's whatever, I don't care what they tell you. When you're an investigator, you have to try everything. You have to think outside. That's why it's called Think Outside the Paranormal Box. You have to use your brain here, folks.
The reason why the scientific community has not accepted the paranormal field is you can't go by the scientific method using paranormal because we can't definitively reproduce it.
The same thing.
Right.
You can't say ghost jump and it jumps. Ghost jump and it jumps. You can't reproduce it.
Well, it's like the example you gave last time, and Dave said it's like shooting at a moving target and hitting it in the same spot each time. You're not going to do it.
Right. And see, when you're working with anomalies, and that's the biggest factor, how are you gonna reproduce that?
Right.
I mean, lens flare and stuff like that. Yeah. But, a lot of stuff you can see that can be reproduced, but that's when you weed it out. If you can reproduce it, you throw it out.
Correct.
That's the point.
So, and if you cut everything else away and you still can't say it's normal, then it's possible it's paranormal at that point. Right. Not definitely, it's possible.
Right.
EVPs I've gotten, I'll be like, that's peculiar. That's interesting.
Yeah, you have to. You can't say it's a definitive thing because none of us can. There isn't anybody in this world that can definitively say that's a ghost. Because first and foremost, we don't know what a ghost is.
If I have my grandfather appear right in front of me and say hello to me, I'm going to say, you know what? I've seen a ghost.
I know, but we can't say though for definite that it is because we don't know what they are.
Either that or now after I wake up, because at that point I'm going to pass out. But after I wake up, I will be like, okay, maybe it was a dream.
I can tell you this.
Where are you?
The only thing that we can really agree on is that it's energy. And we just don't know what kind of energy. We don't know how it forms.
Consciousness energy.
All that stuff.
That's what we need to figure out a way to.
I think we should start doing experiments.
Quantify conscious energy. Like, how do we quantify that?
I'm sure there's people out there a lot smarter than all of us here together tonight that can do that.
Well,
I like what Barry said. Can you put that up there?
Give all your viewers a very interesting thought, because I'm actually a lay minister with the United Methodist Church, as well as I work in electronics and the computer field. So I love the technical side. So I'm going to give you the theological side versus the technical side. Think about this to the people who believe in the Bible. They say Jesus rose from the dead. Jesus rose people from the dead. And so that tells me, even back in Babylonian times, they knew that there were spirits there. Okay. So with that said, we're going to go to the scientific side. The body produces energy, correct?
Yeah, we know that.
Can you destroy energy?
No.
Can you augment energy?
Well, you can manipulate and move energy. Okay. You can, yeah.
So my question is, when the body dies, what happens to that energy?
And that's the question that none of us know.
So you put the two and two together. It has to do something wherever that something is. Whether it goes to an orb, whether it goes to be a lightning ball, whether it goes to the ground, whether it be circle of life, Hakuna Matata, bitch, whatever. So there's still a measurable energy there. For how long? Don't know.
I think the only way, Dave, that we could probably do anything like that is you're going to have to find every piece of equipment that can measure energy and all different forms of energy.
Right.
And when somebody goes to pass away, have all that shit laying there around that person.
And have it done on multiple people for multiple records. That's the only way the scientific community is going to.
Excuse me. We're just here to let your dead person die, and we're just going to see if any of these things go on.
Let me put this in right here, and let me put that right there.
Just be patient. If any of these things, like squeak, bubble, light up, make some screaming kind of noises, it's fine. It's fine. Your person just died, and they were telling us.
All right, so we're gonna take a short commercial break, you guys. We'll be right back. So hold on to that thought. We'll be right back.
2021 just got better. Your favorite shows from WLFE DB Radio can now be found on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Yes, we now video stream to both of those platforms. Search for your favorite shows like Where's My Sage, Inside the Drag Closet, Across the Pond, Everything Yet Nothing, Paratalk Radio, Step into the Paranormal, The Creepy Parlor, Just Cindy, and more. Now you won't miss an episode. Remember, follow Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Make sure you subscribe and follow your favorite WLFE DB radio shows. This award-winning thriller has it all. Murder, political intrigue, mob revenge, and a bit of romance. Not to mention strong female and male characters with a storyline that could be tomorrow's headline news. Now for a quick peek into our story. To help solving a nationwide plot involving the assassination of several U.S. senators, the O'Rourke team is called in. To complicate matters, they now have to work against the clock to rescue one of their own. You see, the mob didn't take too kindly to the O'Rourke team's involvement last spring. It seems to have led to the indictment of their boss. Will they succeed? You're listening to WLFE DB Radio. Now, back to our program.
Okay, I have to say this. Robert, you are freaking hysterical. He said the energy transforms and rolls out.
Hello, Liz. Oh.
Hi, Liz.
So one of you guys were going to say something. I think Ernie did.
For those of you guys who don't understand, that's a Transformers joke.
Okay.
I want to
go ahead, Ernie.
I want to comment on Barry's comment.
Yeah.
Years ago, I got an residential investigation, and the lady was a lot of the claims were based around her son. His health. He was, things he was seeing, what they thought were apparitions. So we were doing a baseline sweep of the house. Certain part of the room, I was getting real high EMFs. The closer I went to the floor, the stronger it got.
Oh, wow.
So we immediately went to the basement, and come to find out, the kid's room was down there. And in one area, like what Dave's setup is for work, he had his computer, he had his big screen, he had multiple video consoles, and he was there 12, 14 hours a day.
He was glowing in the dark.
Just sitting, basically glowing in the dark. And that EMF field was literally coming through the ceiling, and we were picking it up in the living room as we get close to the floor. So we did advise what to do, getting out of there and whatever. And I mean, it worked, but Barry had just made a comment about that. Yeah.
Step away.
But that's a big, people don't realize being in that fear cage, what it can do to you. And
it could drive you nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That whole, I mean, that was something that I think it was Jason from Ghost Hunters brought up back in 2000, 2001, that the EMF.
Oh my gosh, I remember.
Yeah, definitely affects you. I mean, it can make you paranoid. It can make you physically sick. There's so many things.
Yeah.
For the EMF being that high.
Yep.
I really learned a lot from them.
You have to keep in mind what your body's being exposed to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The standard 0.2, 0.3 can affect your body. When you're sitting in 20, 30, 40 standardly, your electromagnetic field will just be completely scrambled.
It's almost like for those that may not understand exactly what we're talking about, you know how it is when you're sitting in a car inside a garage, the carbon monoxide. Think of it as like an electrical version of carbon monoxide. Right. That's exactly what
it's very toxic to your.
Yeah, and it can have so many physical do so many different physical things to you.
Your body has a natural electromagnetic field in it.
Right.
Some psychics can pick up it as an aura. Yeah. It's an electromagnetic field that the body produces.
The chi.
If you put a magnet near a credit card, it wipes it. There's a reason. Because it's affecting the electromagnetic field. It's actually taking that tape that's on it and erasing it. What do you think electromagnetic can do to your body?
Doing to the energy, your natural energy in your body.
Right.
Yeah.
And the amount of it that we have today is unbelievable.
Astronomical.
Yeah. Think about what everybody does all day long. You know what I mean?
Right. The cell phones alone.
Hi, Troy.
Cell phones alone.
T-Roy.
All day.
Right.
T-Roy changed his name to Troy.
Hi, Troy.
Hey, T-Roy. Hello, Christopher Aubrey. Hello.
Hi,
nice to see everybody. You know, there's
wait,
just
what's
so
a
many things in this
Faraday
field.
cage?
There's so many things in this field we just don't know, and that's why I say, you know, if you're in this field, your job is to search for the anomalies. You need to figure out what's going on, and that's your goal. You know, and you don't want to lead your clients astray. You don't want to give them a bunch of crap. You want to tell them the truth right from the beginning.
You have
You
to
know?
look at it like this. When somebody calls you in for help, and you said this earlier, Ted, you can't go in already, oh, you know, this place is haunted. You got to be a little bit versed in so many different things because that person needs help. And as you start your investigation, you might find out this isn't paranormal at all.
Right.
This has got to do with one of the many things that we discussed tonight. And you got to be knowledgeable enough to, I'm not saying dig in the wall and fix the wiring and electrocute yourself, but have enough common knowledge to say, hey, I think this is what it is. You know, don't think about the paranormal right now.
We had a demon case where the guy was swearing he had a demon. He had scratches on mirrors. He had black. His toilet water was turning black. He had holy water turned black. He had bolts ripped out of doors. Really, really interesting stuff. So we get there, and the history was he recently brought in a witch in this house. Since he brought the witch in, she said she was cursed. And now the curse is following her, blah, blah, blah. Well, after investigating everything, we turned it into almost like a police investigation. We figured out that we actually had the water tested from the holy water. Figured out it was Clairol dye number 7. It was a hair dye that actually, when you hold it up to the light, it was green, not black. I looked at the wires that were, quote, burned. You could tell there was a slice cut in them to short them out. The scratches you could actually see were 3 separate scratches because one of them hooked off. And then we said, well, why would a, quote, demon have to rip a deadbolt off to come in and rip your room up? Well, it turned out we actually caught some real EVPs, including a previous owner's name of the house because it freaked the owner out. He showed us the deed, the property deed. So we started questioning the owner of the house and got EVPs saying, not me, roommate.
Yeah, and the thing was, the previous owner, we had no knowledge of him or his name, and we happened to capture an EVP with a first and last name, and that's when the client came back.
His eyes went, oh my god! And he went running out of the room.
Yeah,
we're looking at each other like,
and he came back with the original deed, and it was the name of the
so we started
owner.
Questioning directly, and we're getting direct responses, and we're like, why are you trying to scare this guy? Not me. Well, who is it? Roommate. And we narrowed it down. The roommate, it turns out the roommate was trying to scare the hell out of the guy so bad that he would move out so she could have the house. She wanted to move her boyfriend in.
Yeah,
so
that's ridiculous.
The legitimate activity that he was experiencing, we believe, was the actual owner of the house liked the guy and was
trying to protect him. Well, the guy calls me back about a month later when I'm literally ready to present to him because we compiled all this stuff. And he goes, yeah, it all stopped. And I'm like, it did? He goes, yeah. I said, what happened? He goes, I kicked the bitch out.
Wow, amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of time, unfortunately.
On our end.
Yep.
Okay.
So
the snow is getting deep outside. And I don't want to the snow's getting deep outside, and I don't want to have to room with.
Yeah, because I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to work.
I go to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, you do, Ernie.
Guys, thank you for having us.
We love you guys.
Thank you for
love you guys
and hanging out and
thanks so
giving us your
much.
opinion. We appreciate it.
Thanks everybody for watching,
Thanks
and
for watching.
thanks for all the comments and funny
join us on
comments
Step Into the Paranormal next Sunday.
Sunday, guys.
We have this upcoming Sunday. We have Lauren Malloy.
Yep.
So it's going to be an
make
awesome
sure
show.
Make sure we get that stuff so we can post it on the website.
All right.
I mean,
Lauren,
every time you guys have that stuff, we can put it right on the schedule.
All right. Yeah, Lauren's amazing, and that's going to be a good interview, and we've been looking forward to having her. So
cool.
And
awesome.
Hey, check this out, Teddy.
My computer just came on over there.
I saw that.
My whole computer setup, which
all
is
his setup
15, 20 feet, which was in sleep mode, just randomly came on.
Hey, it's a demon. It's a demon.
No, it's my
Hey, check this out, Ted. I don't know if you saw it, just went out. I don't know if you saw the announcement, but March 14th, we're going to be doing our show live from DeVille Inc. studio with Tony DeVille.
That's so weird. I can't believe you just said that because I kept going, why is Tony DeVille like popping up in my head? I looked at your arm right there to see if he had a tattoo right there, and I'm like,
yeah, he does.
I got
it was so weird.
Yeah,
he got some brand new
That was
info
the weirdest thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
we'll get
we
it put on the calendar. We'll get it up there.
we
for you guys.
actually we investigated his shop last year on Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
and
I have a 13th on my back from him.
that's a whole different show there because that caught us off guard.
Off guard, yeah. We think a tattoo parlor is not. Oh yeah,
but you'll see when we go live from there on March 14th.
And I could really scare everybody. I might get some ink live on camera.
You might get who on live on camera?
Some ink.
Oh, some ink.
We've done that too.
I've done that.
He's
It's
getting
been
Tweety.
me.
He's getting
Oh, no, Teddy
Tweety.
did it too the last time.
Dave's getting Tweety Bird on his ass cheek.
Do you know that I was called Tweety Bird?
Why? I don't want to know why.
No, that's a cheap joke.
I don't wanna know why.
Because it was a trip from Arizona to Chicago area. I think it was like up in that area. Anyway, so we were taking a bus, and these guys that were on the bus, that's what they called me. I had my hair pulled all up in a bun on top of my head. I had these big red glasses, and the old Sally Jesse Raphaels. And they called me.
You see our logo on Dave's hat?
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what Tony just gave me that
Yeah,
logo.
he's got it on his forearm right
Yeah,
now.
I got that tattooed Saturday.
Nice.
Last Saturday.
Oh, what? That's just on Saturday.
Last
so
Saturday, a week ago. Yeah.
It's so crazy because you put your arm up and I didn't see a tattoo, but I literally was listening and they were saying Tony DeVille and ink. And that was crazy. And then you said, oh, you're going to be live.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
Oh, my God. That's
On
awesome.
my back or my other side of my chest.
Cool.
So,
all right, guys. Well, we will
Fantastic.
get that stuff on. We will get that stuff up for you on the schedule, and we'll go from there.
All right. We will see you guys. Thanks again.
All right. Thank
I
you,
love you guys.
Love you guys.
Hi, Teddy Poo Poo.
Hey. So yeah, it's I as I was saying earlier, it's like we were going to have Dave and Ernie on, but I turned on Twitter and I kept getting all these bings from Twitter, and I'm like, what the hell? And
Wait, so it was just happening tonight then?
yeah, it's from Grant's on my Twitter, so I was getting it from him as well, and so there's a lot of uproar about what's happening in the paranormal field, and a lot of it is because of this whole TV and everybody wanting to be famous, forgetting about the clients and not doing what we set out to do. It's more about all that stuff. And Grant basically said, what's going on? What's going on with this field? What's going on with the paranormal? And, but some of us have been saying that for a long time. I mean, we've been saying it for well over a year, saying, hey, we're so sick and tired of, all these, bullshit claims and, these TV shows. Oh my God, it's an orb and it went into my head and now I'm possessed. I mean, give me a break. I mean, yes, but see, Barry, that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be education. It's supposed to be like with our show tonight. Some of us are fed up with all that stuff. Some of us are really fed up. Hello, there's my son. But yeah, we're fed up, and we want people to understand that it's not about all that stuff that you see on TV. That's entertainment.
Right.
I mean,
and some
not
of it
every-
is made up. Some of them are not ethical and moral. Some of them, it's fantastical bullshit.
Right. And, it's just amazing. If you were to know some of the people that we know personally and do investigations with, you would know how they work. And unfortunately, not every location you go to is haunted or has a ghost or a spirit, because you know what? Somebody mentioned this earlier, and I think it was Robert, and it's true. If ghosts, where's all the dinosaur ghosts? Where's all the, you know what I mean? So where's all this stuff that came before us? Where is it? So, it being energy, And that's what we can call it, is energy. We have to find a way to trace it. We have to find a way to track it. And the only
Yes,
way to
I
do that is
agree.
to develop the right tools to do the job.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, right now, we're stuck with what we have. And
Yeah,
that's
we
why
don't
I
have the
think
right.
old school paranormal is important right now, because I think between old school and new school and all the stuff that's being developed, maybe we can get
Old
some
school, new school, even if it's
still rock and roll to
no.
me. But yeah, it's just it's really I mean, I'll be honest with you, Cindy, this past year in 2020, not doing having any cases and not doing anything, it was relaxing. It's given me
Yeah,
the opportunity to see all the bullshit so that I can make corrections when we actually go out. It's stuff where it's a learning curve, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where now we can actually, hey, we don't like this, it's not working for us. And sometimes a pen and a piece of paper or a pad and just sitting down into a middle of a room and listening and then trying to figure out what's making that noise is the best route to go. I mean,
yeah. Oh,
eh,
I like what Jamie just said. Excuse me. I thought there was going to be a show that picks apart the paranormal show.
we were told there was, but we still haven't heard anything or seen anything
But
from it.
Teddy and I had that thought too back a
Oh shit.
couple years ago. Do you
Yeah,
remember us?
we thought
It
about
was
doing a
great. We
show,
thought that was fantastic
and
idea.
I've pitched 2 shows so far, and they were both turned down. And it's because they don't believe they can make money off of it, you know? So Christopher says I don't
Well,
believe a lot of what TV
especially because
says.
they don't want to going back on anything that maybe possibly they had shows
Right.
that
Right. Christopher says I don't believe a lot of what TV says, but it sure keeps me entertained. But what I do believe is there are spirits, energies, and malevolent energies or entities. Sorry. Um, I believe there's a lot of stuff out there that we just don't know about, and there are things that happen to people, good people, bad people. There are situations. I mean, I've come across a place that has had nobody living in it for 50, 60 years, and you go in there and you hear disembodied voices, people talking, and I'm the only one there.
right.
So am I hearing things? So that's the anomalies that I was talking about. That's the stuff we need to find and we need to focus on. EVPs, even to this day, for me, do nothing for me. I mean, I want to experience what's really happening in these places. And
Right,
and
right.
I was saying to them before you popped on, Cindy, I think if we get a client that calls us said, "Hey, my house is haunted. There's shit going on here," I'm going to stop them and say, "We don't want to know anything. Just tell us the location, give us this date, let us go in and see what's going on, and then when we get done with the
Yes,
investigation, then we approach them and say, this is what we found. Does it validate what your claims are?"
that's great. That's kind of like how I do things. You know, I like doing things that way. It's going in blind, right?
I'm thinking that's to
I
be
love
honest with
that
you.
idea, Teddy.
Well, think about this.
Yeah.
GVPI, Genesee Valley
Mhm.
Paranormal Investigators, for the past 10 years. Actually, this is 2020, right? So we started in 2008
It's
or 221.
2021, you goofy.
We started in 2008 as a business. So
Hmm.
that's 13 years ago. So when we first started, in fact, we still do today, if somebody makes a claim, we go in the place, and these are the way that we run. We go in and we do the meet and greet. We go through and might do a short investigation to see if it warrants us doing a full investigation. If it does, we do the full investigation. But we separate this stuff. We do a day with just cameras, then we do a day
Hmm.
with human interaction. And then if we go back a third time, it's we do it with both. I mean, if it's
That's
happening
a great
while
idea.
people are there, it's happening when people aren't there.
Right.
But if it's only happening when people are there, then there's
That's a
something
big red
going
flag.
on. It is a flag.
Hmm.
It's an
Yep.
anomaly. Then you have to start pulling that apart to figure out what's going on. And you have to be in control of the people that you have and make sure that they're out of way of the microphones, out of the way of the cameras,
Right.
that nobody's in the location, that, it has to be as quiet as possible. That's why I like
Yeah.
to go set up cameras, and I tell people stay away. 24 hours, nobody near that house.
Yeah.
And if we find that there's a mailman or something like that, then we're able to, we'll have a camera outside the door. So then we're able to say, okay, here's the timestamp.
Yep.
We have to
I like
do
that
things.
idea.
We have to.
Yeah.
You have to do it that way. I mean, and there's locations where you may have to spend a week, a month, a year, 2 years. Well, shit, we've been doing the Avon Inn for over 3-4 years now.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
Christopher, I'll tell you when I saw Cecil Hotel on the episode of Ghost Adventures, I got very bad vibes. You see how it looks inside and automatically just looks off and super creepy, aside from the entertainers bullshitting you. Well, here's the thing. Is you can't judge a place by the way it looks either. You've got to go to the location with no bias opinion whatsoever, with no feeling of it's haunted, no nothing. In fact, Dave and Ernie, when they do old school, all the lights are off. They go in with just a small flashlight and a digital recorder. So they don't even know what the place looks like during the day.
Yeah.
So go in and don't judge the place before you actually get anything. I mean, you have to be clear-minded about it, period.
I agree.
Have a great night, Eric. Thanks for popping in, buddy.
Eric, I love you. Take care in the hive.
But every place has some weird noises. Every place.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think that everybody has the same weird noises. But
oh hell no. I mean, some of those old-fashioned
you and I have weird house noises.
Yes, we do. But we have reasons for those. But there are places that I've gone that's had those big, heavy.
Is the person in my basement?
200-pound grandfather clocks that when you're standing there at midnight, the damn thing goes off and scares you, so you piss your pants. Oh my God!
Oh God!
You know what I mean?
Oh my God! Wait, do you have that, or is that?
No, I don't. It was a location we did.
That would piss. I would piss myself.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing: it's like people just they just don't. I'm not saying that everybody has to do it a certain way, but I'm telling you that if some type of collective was put together in the paranormal field and said, hey, if you're going to be in this field, if you're going to be in this research, then this is what we want you to follow by. This is our standard. These are our guidelines. This is how we want it done. Yes.
But they wouldn't do that. You know what I mean?
No, they won't. Because we're not collective. We're not a collective at all. And there's so many things dividing us that it's never going to happen. You get very select few teams that want to work together.
Right. It has so much to do with you have a person in your basement, Cindy? Finally, somebody says that.
Cindy, you're going to love this. And the biggest problem that we have? Ego.
That's exactly it. That's what I was just going to say. Is there's so much catty bullshit. And that's why teams don't want to work with teams, right?
I got to get a different chair.
I know this person, and I'm going to say some bullshit about this person, and then they're going to be like, what are you trying to say? And try to defend themselves. And
what does Robert say? The property makeup. Okay, let me just put it over here because it's going to keep moving on me. The property makeup can affect the amount of activity as well. Some red brick that hold crystals in the creation areas can bring in spooks. Well,
right.
I mean, there are a lot of
right?
things that we know out there. I mean, well, look at some of the old houses in England when they were buried with, when they made the basements, they buried a child's shoe in the wall.
Right. They did that because to keep bad things from
happening. But if that kid died and that shoe has been worn on that child's foot, the residue from that energy of that child is in that shoe.
Correct.
So
correct. And it could be several children. Like I had a pair of baby shoes I passed down these cute shoes.
Yeah.
The first walking shoes.
Yeah. Barry Marr says, yep, I agree, Ted. Way too much ego out there. And it is.
Ego.
I mean, there's a lot of
It
it,
is.
you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think right now, I mean, I welcome this not being able to do investigations right now because it's making me really think about all the stuff that's happening out there.
And
And
this is the stuff that needs to go in your book, my friend.
well, this is kind of like the stuff that's happening with this whole COVID thing was happening. I couldn't believe the amount of teams that were still out there putting themselves in danger and their clients in danger
Why?
by doing investigations. Why are you doing
Yeah,
that?
I don't understand that.
Unless it's attacking the person and killing the person, stay your ass home.
Yeah.
You know?
I can understand if it's children being,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
bothersome.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Mhm.
residual energy. Now, we should probably do some more. Robert White. Yes, Ted, your third book. Yeah, whatever. Third and fourth. They're both started, but they haven't gone anywhere.
Third and
Um,
fourth. Yeah, I think he might even be starting his fifth.
we'll see. But, there's just so much stuff out. I'm afraid, though, Cindy, to be honest with you, I'm afraid that the next book that like this one that I've been working on, the fourth book, I'm so afraid it's all going to be opinion. That's it.
Well, that's one thing you have to stop yourself from.
Yeah. So, I would actually like us
Conjecture and
to.
opinion. You don't want that.
Well, I've thought about taking the book and maybe even a fifth book and going and just writing out like 20, 30 questions, then hitting up different people in the paranormal, asking them their question and
I love
getting their
that.
answers. Because then you're getting 20, 30 people you're interviewing and their answers all might be different.
But one of the things that I was even just going to say is like those opinions that you were just talking about is you could get those opinions and then prove or disprove them, right?
Yeah.
You could actually take it out and prove or disprove.
So did you see my necklace from?
Oh, that's a beautiful one. I love that
It's
so much.
protection necklace. It was made for me for my birthday from Jenna.
Ah, Jenna's so sweet. I knew
I love
that
that girl.
I knew that she was sending you a necklace. I figured anyway,
Jamie Gamber, Jamie, she's been very active tonight, says, you need to research the place before you investigate it, but the research can affect your investigation.
And that's one of the reasons why I tell Teddy that if we're going to a location, I don't want to know jack shit. I do not want to know anything about what's there. I don't want to know the history, nothing. Because they'll tell me a bunch of stuff, and now I have that stuff that I have to sort out. Like, oh, is that?
Right. Yeah.
There's been so many times that I've gone to places. Oh, and Casey, the little baby ghost, is here, and I don't get Casey, the baby ghost, ever at all.
Right.
I never see it, feel it, hear it, sense it, nothing.
And I think too, like,
or Sally the saloon girl, right?
Right. Well, what I was thinking was the whole thing, like I've been putting together. It's like, we go in there with no information and we tell them to wait till we're done with our what we find or what we don't find.
I love that idea.
I have somebody already doing the research, but I tell them to hold the research until we're done.
Yeah.
Just like the Amityville horror house. If you go there, you would automatically think something's there. Right, because of its reputation. The Conjuring house right now is getting a lot of slack and a lot being, a lot of crap going on with that. So, and I'm not going to get into it.
I've seen
we're not about, we're not about.
I've seen stuff about that, like the previous owner going, this is a bunch of malarkey.
Right.
That was one of the big things.
But see, we're not here to spread lies or rumors. We're trying to tell you people that before you go out there to do any of this stuff, make sure that you're doing it in the right mindset. That's what I'm saying.
That's also very important.
And don't judge it from somebody else. Never take somebody else's word for it first. Yeah. If you're a researcher, that is the first thing you should do is like, nope, let me find out for myself. Because sometimes what you can come up with is totally different than what you're being told.
Yeah. And the other thing is so sometimes with psychics, like people just assume that we'll all pick up the same thing. That's just not true. Where we pick up different channels, like a radio station or a TV station do, It's like dialing into certain specific
And there's
channels.
different types of psychics. I mean, I'm an empath. I pick up feeling more than I do anything else.
Right.
You know, and it's like I don't see what Cindy sees.
Yeah, I see a lot. I
She
feel a lot.
sees where I feel and hear. I feel and hear. I don't really see.
Yeah.
Once in a great while, but not very often.
Yeah.
So we're all different. So we can't judge that. And to
Yeah,
be
we
honest
are.
with you, I don't even use it normally. I shut it off most of the time.
I can't.
I have to.
No way. I would feel like I would be my skin would be crawling. Like
My
it
house, when I
literally-
finally go to sleep, then it's on. And then that's when I get woke up because everything starts. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah,
whatever.
that's when I'd be like, listen, bitches, this is not
I
the
do the same
time.
thing.
Bitches.
I do that. But
Mhm.
guys, we really just want to, make sure that you understand that Paratalk Radio is, we don't always talk about the paranormal. We try to keep it within that genre on those topics, but we talk about everything here, and we try to bring you the facts that we find, or at least try to interview the guests to get their facts or their opinions on things, and then you guys decide what's real and what's not real, and that's always the way it's been here.
That's when Godzilla gets them put in the TV.
You mean that guy back there?
That guy right there? Is that the one?
Kind of reminds me, Thursday night at 10 o'clock, I'm going to be with Frank over on Psycho Bunny.
Oh, yeah? Tell me about that.
We are doing, let me see if I can find it. It's called Monsterverse.
Wait, at 10 p.m.? Okay, that's after my show. Okay.
Yeah, it's called Monsterverse. And we are going to be talking about the new Godzilla movie. Yep.
How excited are you about that, Teddy?
Oh my God, the new movie. I am so
Is it good?
crazy.
Did you see it?
It's not out till March.
Oh.
And they're only giving us little snippets of it.
So you guys are just like dying here.
Oh yeah.
Dying here.
I mean, they're showing us a lot of stuff.
Your dimples are so cute. I love
it.
them. No, I love them. Stop it.
Stop that.
Let me see more dimples.
No. But yeah,
I love your dimples.
there's a lot of things right now.
Eddie, did you lose some weight?
I don't know. I don't think so. I haven't weighed myself, so I can't tell you.
Godzilla versus King Wrong.
King Wrong. Yeah, so it's going to be Thursday at 10 p.m. Actually, if you go, I'll post it here on Paratalk Radio.
Yes.
We're going to be over on Psychomantium 13. That's where it is.
Psychomantium, not on Psycho Bunny.
Maybe it's on both. I'm not sure.
It could be both, actually. Yeah,
it's Monsterverse Madness. Monsterverse Madness. It's me from WLFEDB and Frank from Psycho Bunny and guests as they discuss the new upcoming Godzilla versus Kong movie and more.
Woo! That sounds so fun.
We got some guests joining us as well that were involved in one of the Talk with Teddy episodes of Godzilla. So we have a lot of people that are going to be on there discussing, everything that they're seeing in the previews and all that stuff too, because there's a lot of stuff that if you really pay attention to those little previews of the movies and the trailers, you can pick some stuff out. So we're really excited about it.
Give you some little nuggets.
Yeah, because the way it looks is King Kong is going to be the winner and Godzilla's going down. That's what it looks like.
What? Come on.
That's what it looks like.
Well, maybe that's what they want you to think, right?
Exactly. So we'll
they
see.
want you to think King Kong's gonna get him.
King Kong was actually the king of the apes, king of the gorillas.
Yeah.
Not of monsters. Godzilla is king of the monsters. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. That's pretty exciting.
What do you got going on?
I have my Tarot Tuesday on Tuesday, which Teddy loves calling it Taco Tuesday. Exactly. Taco Tuesday. Blink, 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 blink. Taco Tuesday.
Yep.
Tarot Tuesday.
There you go.
That would be fun, actually. That would be really fun, actually. Right? I totally just had that in my head, like making a little blinking sign, like saying Taco Tuesday or Tarot Tuesday.
There you go.
So that starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm on my Psychic Cindy on Facebook and on YouTube with the Psychic Cindy. But we do it on Psycho Bunny Death Cult on Tuesdays because that time slot is taken, so I can't take it. Yeah, so Liz and Frank let me go put it over there too.
It's awesome.
And yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. And then I am on Psychic Cindy and The Psychic Cindy on YouTube, Psychic Cindy on Facebook, and on WLFE DB Radio on Thursday for my Just Cindy podcast.
Awesome.
At 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what else I have going on. Can you believe it's almost the end of January, though?
Yeah.
Like, this is like the last week of January, right? This is crazy. So crazy.
I know. It's nuts.
I don't know where it went. Oh, look what I received from Chanel, though.
Really?
My little penis.
Oh my God.
My little stone penis. It even has
crazy girl.
See it right there?
I don't want to see it.
I do. It's not big enough.
So this is the picture everybody's seeing.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Wait, didn't he win the last time though? Oh no, was that a King Kong movie?
Nobody won the first one. King Kong versus Godzilla, nobody won. They both walked away. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So Thursday, guys, join us over there.
Was the last one more a King Kong movie rather than a Godzilla movie?
Yeah, there was a King Kong. Yeah, Kong Skull Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I was thinking so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so that's what I got going on. Just got that going on for Thursday, and
that's awesome.
I'm actually going to
might do a special on Saturday or something too, maybe Friday or Saturday.
You can do whatever you want as long as somebody else doesn't have the time slot. That's what I've told everybody. It's like we have open time slots. So if you find it, go on WLFE-DB.com. If there's nobody on that time slot, then go ahead and do your show. Do something. It's fine. Just advertise it ahead of time so you get somebody there.
Yeah, no, I just want to.
Because right now, Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays, there's not much on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like especially Sundays, I think it's only I think it's just the Across the Pond is Sundays, right? What else do we have on Sundays? Let me see.
I can't even remember. You're better than I am. I cannot remember all of the.
All right, I'm looking right now.
Okay, good.
So our show schedule shows Sunday Across the Pond. They're on from 4:00 to 5:30. Step Into the Paranormal is this week, and they start at 7 and go till 8. They're only an hour. So Sundays at 8:00 on are free. So you can do Sunday nights. Monday from 7 to 8.
Monday from 7 to 8.
Yep, that's just before our show. But yeah.
I thought somebody took that though.
Nope, not Tuesdays. Wednesdays from 7 to 8 is available.
What about right before my show?
Oh, Thursday?
Wait, somebody's on at 7:00, right?
Not on Thursday. 7 to 8
Tuesday?
is on Thursday or Tuesday?
On Tuesday.
Tuesday, yes, that's the Creepy Parlor.
That's
from
what
7
I thought.
to 8. And then after that's Where's My Sage? And then from 10 o'clock to midnight, there's nothing on Tuesday.
Okay, got it.
So like Tuesdays at 10 o'clock is free. Thursday or Wednesday, it's pretty much filled except for 7 to 8. Friday, there's 7 to 8:30 is open on Friday, and 10:30 to midnight's open on Friday. Saturday, 7 to 9 is open on Saturdays.
That's interesting. What about during the day on Saturdays?
Completely open.
Really?
Yeah, you could do whatever you wanted on Friday or Saturday during the day, and Sunday's the same way up till 4:00, because we're still looking for shows to fill them. I might have a new one coming soon, but I'm not sure what time slot they're looking for. But I'm probably going to see if they want to do 10 to midnight or on Tuesday or 10 to midnight on Wednesday, because those are open.
We have a lot of great shows, Teddy, on WLFE.
You
We
know
really
what?
do.
The shows they're really good shows. They really are. We just got to fill them up. Like right now, day shows, we have a lot of slots open for day shows. In fact, I thought about the whole thing with Robert, but that's nighttime for him, but
Right.
it'll be perfect.
Well,
to,
think
with
about
him
it this
doing the
way.
stone
Yeah,
work
because
that he does.
8:00 at night for him would be 8. Hang on. Yeah, I mean, it'd be like really early for us.
Right. But see, for Robert to come out and do a live show, like on his phone, to where he's like polishing stones, showing people how to do what he's doing for an
Yeah, like
hour.
lapidary things. Yeah.
Yeah, for an
That'd
hour,
be
that would be
fun.
great.
Yeah, because it would be, so let's see, 8.
So Robert, Robert, I'm going to send you a link quick.
7, 6. It'd be 4 in the morning here, if I'm not mistaken, right? Oh, 5? Are you sure, Robert? But if we're still on Eastern or daylight savings time. 8 to 8. So 8, 6, 7, 8. Oh, maybe that's right.
So let's
thinking. Yes, you're right.
Let's end the Paratalk Radio, and why don't you and I and Robert sit backstage and chat for a few minutes, and
Okay.
do that. So, guys, thank you for hanging out with us tonight, and meeting Dave and Ernie from Paranormal and chatting with us. We really appreciate it.
I love this is my new
That's
see my
nice.
new it's my my brother's girlfriend, Cheryl. This was my present for Yule for Christmas.
Beautiful.
She made it. It's so pretty. I love it. Look, I still have it on. It's nice and warm. Keeps me toasty.
All right, so guys, if you have not, do us a favor. If you have not gone over to
WLFE DB
or our page, which is Paratalk Radio, please go over and like, subscribe, and share.
Please, yes.
WLFE, especially there, and we now have merch.
Merch. Also, please go to Psychic Cindy on Facebook, The Psychic Cindy so it's Psychic Cindy on TikTok and on Facebook. It's The Psychic Cindy on Instagram and YouTube. Please go hit me up, you guys.
There you go. And just
follow.
Because of Dave and Ernie, paranormalinc.net, if you want to reach out to them as well.
Yes. And their show is on Sundays.
Yeah. And if you guys are ever looking for a show, find out where the shows are, what we're doing, you can always hit us up on Facebook Messenger. You guys know that. So there's no reason to not follow us and not know where we are.
Yeah. There's so many shows like Where's My Sage and WLFE DB Radio. Like if you go to WLFE-DB, it'll tell you all the different shows that we have on the network.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it's pretty easy when it comes to Facebook. It's usually facebook.com/ and then whatever the name of the show is. It's usually pretty easy. So yes, Jamie, we are looking for shows. Yes, and go buy some t-shirts. All right, so we're gonna get out of here. So Cindy,
say it.
Okay. Wherever there's darkness, there's always
the light.
Thank you for listening to Paratalk Radio with Ted Wolf and Psychic Cindy. Catch us next Monday for another fantastic guest. Please check out our show as well as others on the WLFE DB Radio Network. And remember, like, follow, and share with everyone.
Join us at WLFE-DB.com for upcoming shows and so much more.
Just want to say thank you guys for following Paratalk Radio for the past 5 years. And these are some of the people that have joined us. Thank you again for supporting us. And we will be talking with you soon. And stay tuned to paratalkradio.com, facebook.com/Paratalk Radio as well. And we'll catch you guys next week.